While testing team comps, I started thinking, what exactly is stopping Frieren from just solo killing the boss? The answer is really not that much, and once you hit RC8, this device here that gives you 50% attack to mage heroes is enough damage for Frieren to one entry it too. So let's talk about how to set this up, how to maximize your damage, and everything about this solo. It is a solo, but we have 3 extra slots, and we might as well use them for imprints and other stuff. So here are all of the flat attack imprints for you to work with. You want them to be pretty low level, which is why I just mentioned the 3-star flat attack imprints, because you want them to die off at the start so they don't take turns. And then there's also the speed imprints, which are all of the ones over here in case you need speed for a different setup that I'll mention, because there's a couple of ways to go about doing this. Now, let's put in our imprints. I'm going to go with Ort and Lucy, and maybe I shouldn't have done both of those together, but here is Lucy, and here is Ort. One thing to mention for the front slot is that, let's just use as an example, if you put a unit in the front and they don't die to the AoE because they're level 60, it's fine. If they're base speed, the boss will lap them and then slam down, one-shot them, because that slam does 20,000 damage to an ungeared unit, even at level 60. It's kind of crazy. So don't worry too much if you have to put a unit in the front that won't die immediately. Now, that's relevant because I also said imprints and other stuff. The other stuff is that Frieren can't fully solo the boss, because the boss opens up with this AoE that I mentioned, which will kill the ads, but also it inflicts 2 venom and unbuffable for 4 turns. This is really bad, because Frieren can't get her immunity buff if the boss has put unbuffable on her already. 3 ways to block this. Immunity set, Bastion of Perlucia, which gives immunity to Frieren at the start of the fight, or we can use Silvertide Christy, who got buffed recently, to give 100% of her F-res, and that is actually entirely what makes this possible. So let's take a look at Silvertide Christy's gear. Silvertide Christy, you want to give her as much F-res as possible and as little bulk as possible. In here, 0 HP, 8 HP, 25 defense, no bulk, no bulk. You just want to hit 200 F-res with as little bulk as you can. There is some bulk on this necklace, yes, but at this 936 defense, I still take 15,000 damage on a crit from the boss S1, so on a non-crit, it's probably like 10k if I had to guess. But I have like a lot of wiggle room to work with. So ideally, no helmet or chest. I think if you're on like a necklace with like no bulk, you could probably use a helmet or a chest as long as they have no bulk too. 200 F-res on your Christy, and then your Frieren is going to need a lot of damage. Try to get her to 350 and like 530 or 5300 probably. You need a lot of damage to one entry, and it's an RC8 though. As you get higher RCs, it'll get easier and easier. So you don't really have to worry about it too much. You can just 2-entry it for a couple of RCs, and then you'll start doing the 1-entry clears. You do need a little bit of speed though. I recommend speed main boots, because you need to make sure you maintain your S2 passive, which is why we have her personal artifact Mirrored Lotus Ring gain 20 souls, and then we also get 2 souls at the start of her turn. It's going to be a lot of soul generation, and that's also why we need a little bit of speed, because we have 20 souls of leeway to work with, besides the ones that she generates throughout the fight, but you can't let the boss just remove all of your souls and kill you. Speaking of souls, one relevant thing is that Pearl Horizon is a mage, so she can hold Tag of Hells. Like, this is a potential flat attack imprint. Well, her team imprint is flat attack. A potential flat attack imprint that can give you more souls. And then in the case that you have the damage and you're perfectly fine, just run a bunch of, like, not level 60, because you can't have everybody be level 60, but you can run like a couple of low-level mages and just put Tag Hells on everybody, and you should be okay. For anybody who doesn't have her personal artifact, I guess. So this is the setup, really. It's just a Christy with 200 F-res and little to no bulk, and also a Frieren with really high damage and 2 flat attack imprints. I will mention one more thing though, because at RC15 you can kind of change your setup a little bit. So this is just the alternative setup for anybody who, like, maybe they don't want to have their Christy held hostage on completely grief gear. If you swap over to this kind of build, you have her about 199 speed and then high damage with her personal artifact, of course. You can just think like, just get a level 5 Christy or a level 5 Clury. Give her Bastion of Perlucia. And this way, your Frieren will now have immunity, and this 199 speed is speed-tuned, so that she will be able to never take unbuffable from the boss before she manages to kill it. Though this damage is not enough to one entry it from like RC8. It's probably one entries at like RC10 or something. This specific build is just short of killing it by like 1 or 2 turns. So that's why we go with the other build first, just the one that's lower speed but higher damage, and we'll utilize Christy's F-Res to make sure that she can't take any sort of debuffs. So let's put Christy back in, and let's take a look at the run. We managed to kill it with 1 turn to spare. Could have been a bit lower damage and still have been okay. The setup, of course, takes a while being a full solo, but it'll speed up eventually. Like at RC15, we get this device that boosts our damage a ton, and then this one, it doesn't specify that the enemies have to be alive, so we're gonna get permanent death break, I think, and you can still just use imprints and kill them off. Especially at RC15, I think, and also, of course, at 21, we should be able to just use a PvP Frieren. I don't think it'll really matter what gear you have on your Frieren, as long as she's build damage and not like a stupid F Frieren that you're using for Guild War or something. Like a Christy plus a Frieren, these devices will boost her damage so much that I bet you could run, like, I have like a 240 Frieren usually, that I bet I could run here and still kill. So this is a very nice setup, very good unit, yeah.